Shalom Yashrala, this is your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that taught us this truth and our will. And salutation and much love for you, I can push this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I jump into this here lesson real quick, which is it says Russia bans forced biometric collection. All right, and just to break down a couple of these here words, biometrics. It's a compound word. Bio meaning life or of such things that are living. Metrics, just going into the measurements. So this is biometrics, the measurements of life. So whenever you have like certain things, whether and even in some of the states, I'm pretty sure that this is everywhere around, because when Bush, I believe, signed the Patriot Act, whatever it was called, the first one that they signed, this was part of that scenario back in, I believe it was 2008, I know here in Florida, they call it the Real ID Act, all right, where they give you pretty much like an enhanced driver's license, in which they haven't really, it's not all the way up to par, it's old system. They hadn't really updated it to where, you have the, your so-called measurements of life. I know even in, some jobs they have like biometric readers. I remember working at a job where I had to come in and you put your hand on this little thing, and it's not like it scans your hand or your fingerprints, but it pretty much scans the dimension of your hand, because it's like a fingerprint. There's no two that are the same. No two people's hands are the exact same. So as far as the size and everything else like that, so you can pretty much program somebody in there, and then it's not like a whole database of the whole world, but whoever you program in there, right? This is your three, imagine you have a small business, let's say there's 3 or 4 employees there. Every time there's a new employee, you have them sign up, put their little hand on there, and, you put your hand on there, it goes through the 4 different handsets, but it's just taking a measurement of your hand. You have things like, your phones nowadays, man. All right. You have the facial recognition, right? Some phones, you can unlock your phones with facial recognition. That's a part of biometrics, scanning the measurements of your face, a retina scan, dealing with the iris of the eye, right? You also have the fingerprint scanner. All right, like a lot of this here technology is in your everyday phone nowadays, man. All right, look at how they have for you to unlock your phones, instead of the password, they have what they call biometrics. All right, so things that you can't quite change. All right, but nevertheless, it says Russia bans forced biometric collection. Now this sounds like it's a good deal. Like it's gonna be something. Oh wow, they're not gonna be able to tap into our privacy and things like that, because this is the thing that comes up when people think about these things. But we can already see where this is gonna go. You look at China, and they have the Chinese social credit system, right? So in this here article, they'll basically talk about the technological infrastructure to be able to put this in place, and the data collection, all right, and things like that. But when you look at the Chinese social credit system, all right, not the system itself, but how they take that data and how they implement it and how they use it. All right. So, and we can look at the scriptures and how the scriptures say, you're not going to be able to buy or sell, say if you either have the mark. Right. So now, you have in this here article, again, they using the context of, it's not all that invasive, and if you don't want it, you don't have to have it. In fact, let's just go ahead and read through this real quick. It says a new law forbids discrimination against those who refuse to provide such data. Now, we already know, based off of the systems that we have nowadays, it's like a so-called soft force. All right. Right now, there's nobody holding a gun to your head telling you that you need to, let's say, for instance, nobody's holding a gun to your head saying that, let's say for phones, you need an email address, right? There's no law forcing anybody to have an email address here in America. But for damn near anything that you want to do here in America, you need an email address for it. Let's just go to the basics. You want to start your phone up and use your phone. All right, well, you're either going to have an Apple operating system or Android operating system. And both of those, in order for you to start using the App Store, to use any apps, this is the bare bone of it, you have to sign in using an email address. So, I mean, yeah, we'll sell you a phone. You can get a phone. We're not saying that you can't have a phone. In fact, if you want to have a phone and don't have an email address and you don't want to sign up, that's on you. But you won't be able to use the phone. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you want to, we're not telling you can't use the phone. If you want to use the phone, you have to sign in. All right. So this is the little loophole that they have over you. Oh, we're not forcing you to get an email address. We're not forcing you to sign up. We're not forcing you to use any of these things. But if you want to use this here phone, all right, if you want to be able to do any of these things on here, even if you're not sending no emails, man, if you want to just use your banking app, all right, in order to download the banking app, well, you're going to need an email address to be able to,
use the App Store. And even when you get in there, to be able to sign up for your email account, your bank account, you need an email address for that, man. All right. Oh, you want to make a car payment or something like that? Oh, well, you're going to have to use this here app. And in order to get the app, you need to use the email address to be able to pay this here bill. All right. And they have certain things like that. I know that with, matter of fact, well, I mean, where I go now, it's a credit union. But before that, I had a card that I was making payments on. And in order to pay that bill, there was nowhere where I could physically go to pay the bill. I could only pay it right then and there on this here app that I had. So again, in order for me to be able to pay the car note, I needed to have an email address signed up to be able to use the App Store to be able to get this here app, and then another email address to be able to log in with to be able to use these things. So we can see how, hey, we're not forcing you to get it. Nobody's telling you have to have an email address. But if you want to function out here, you're gonna need one, right? So it says Russia's President Vladimir Putin has signed into law a bill that regulates the collection and use of biometric data of the country's citizens. The legislation approved by Putin on Thursday introduced a new state-operated Unified Biometric System, UBS, set to be created next year. The UBS will handle all biometric collections from Russia's nationals, including, all right, here we go, face images, voice samples, all right. However, the law prohibits forcibly collecting such data. Now, and most people think about all these things, but you got to think about it. How much of this stuff do they have hidden in plain sight, right? A lot of people will use their phones with facial recognition. Well, you gave them your so-called face print, without them forcibly telling you to get these things, fingerprint, oh, I could just unlock it with my thumbprint and everything. Well, now your thumbprint is uploaded, just like an image that you upload to the internet. Once you upload it to the internet, you can never get it back. All right, you can't never just, oh, I deleted the picture, it's gone. Nope, it's still up on, you have these little websites you can go to go back in time and look at what a website looked like back in the olden days. And again, once you upload it to the internet, it's on somebody's server somewhere. It's up there, all right? So it has to, you put it up, it has to land somewhere. So it landed somewhere. Even if you take it off, it's still being hosted somewhere else. So you have, built into these different apps and the little home-based things like your Alexas and all these different devices, talking to you, voice, how they say, searching on YouTube, you use a little voice thing, or you use a voice memos, or you try to do a voice search on Amazon and things like that, man. All these different things are collecting this here information for you to be able to put into a database. So even here in America, they're already doing these things, but this is the system they're getting going over to, man. This is that New World Order beast system that they're going over to. All right. It says, however, the law prohibits forcibly collecting such data, which again, that's the so-called soft spot. All right. Russia seeking to maintain the privacy of their biometric data will be able to opt out of having it collected. They will also be able to easily have it deleted from the system should they change their mind if it has already been gathered. So again, going into these things, this is the soft side of it, letting you know, oh, it's okay if you don't want it, you can delete it. We can delete these things; it'll never be off, and everything else like that. And all these different things that make people feel comfortable. But like I said, once it's been uploaded and once it's into the database, oh, well, we can, we can pretty much store it. We can save it. We can use it for everything else like that, man. And even, you watch some of these documentaries on social media and things like that. You may have never had a social media profile, but guess what? There's a profile built on you based off of your friends and things like that have certain things and the people that you have. I mean, they'll look into your phone and look into your contacts and everything else like that and see who you have contacted in your phone and build a profile based on, this person and that person. Like you get on, I used to wonder back in the old, this was back when MySpace and Facebook was out and popping. But like, how do you, the people that they would suggest, how do y'all know this and how y'all know that? Well, they would just look into your contacts and say, oh, well, you have this person's number, so we're going to contact you with these people and everything else like that. So, hey, they have all this here information based upon you, but they're trying to show you, oh, well, we can delete it if you don't want it anymore and all these different things. But like I said, once it's uploaded, you can't never get it back down again, man. All right, there's people that have images that they think that they've deleted off the internet and can still go back and go find all these things, man. All right. It says, they will also be able to easily delete it from the system should they change their mind if it has already been gathered. Now, again, thinking about this, we didn't invest all this money to get this here system up and going. What happens if every citizen decided they want to say no to this? What we're going to do, just throw away all our money that we invested into all this here stuff? Like, oh, they didn't want it, whatever. We probably should have asked them beforehand. We invested in. None of them want this. They all want to delete all this. And, the whole point of us gathering all this here information is for us to have the information on us. Since they said no, well, we can't go forward because they won't allow us to do this to us, man. That's how you would think that it would work out in a so-called righteous society. But hey, look at who we dealing with, man. All right, they're gonna get it one way or the other. It says The legislation also outlaws any discrimination against those who decide not to provide such information, stating that a refusal cannot be used as grounds for denying an individual state-provided services or an employment. All right, and which again, all right, and this is the loophole. Oh, they're trying to comfort you with this. But just like I said, the email address is a prime example. There is no law here in America forcing you to have no goddamn email address, right? Or let's just say an email address or a bank account nowadays. Most jobs you go to nowadays is not even going to give you no goddamn physical paycheck. You know, they'll be like, oh, it's got to be direct deposit anyway. We ain't paying no money for no payroll. Be sending out no paper checks and mailing and all that. Hey, bro, we got direct deposit nowadays, man. Or we'll send it to you on the email, and then you just, forward this over to your bank and everything else like that, man. All right, so hey, you have certain jobs that's like that. It's like, look, man, if you can't give us an email address, then you can't work for us. We're not forcing you to have all these things, but hey, like they say, we can't discriminate you for employment and all these other things. Hey, man, you try to go get you a damn. They can't discriminate against you here in America for employment purposes for a lot of different things. But just, hey, go to a job where they say, well, the requirement is to having a college degree and everything else like that. Well, we're not discriminating against you if you don't have a college degree, but we just telling you that this is what's required for this. So they're not telling you you can't work there because we're going to discriminate against you because you don't have the certain qualifications. It's just that you don't qualify for the job, right? They're able to put these loopholes around you. Like I said, there's a lot of little simple things here that whenever we go for jobs, they need this, they need that, and all these different things. But hey, it's not forcibly. It's not that you need these things. They not not require. Yeah, they're not requiring you to have these things. But hey, if you want the job, you need a damn email address, man. We got to be able to, and hey, some jobs you got to be able to apply for the job via email or on the internet, man. You have to sign in for these things to be able to make these things happen. All right. It says, effectively, the law makes the state the sole operator of biometric data in the country. Previously, any legal entity was able to collect and use such data in Russia. The legislation also restricts the participation of foreign actors in biometric collection, enabling only state-owned entities to gather such data, which, we've seen how like America and their Western allies do it, where they say, oh, it's illegal for us to spy on our own citizens. So what we do is, America will have Israel spy on Americans and just sell them all the data that they need after the fact. And America spy on Israelis and just sell them the data. Well, we didn't do the spying. We just bought the data from the spies, But hey, it is what it is. We know what their end game is. The law is seen as a foundation to build upon, and the Russian lawmakers are expected to work further and introduce penalties up to criminal liabilities for leaking the personal data of the country's citizen. The Speaker of the Parliament's lower house said, the bill is designated to stop the distribution of biometric data by various commercial organizations and ensure the state protection of it. The next step will be to introduce the introduction of criminal and administrative liabilities for the forced collection of leakage of biometrics data. Trying to make you feel like you're more confident in these things. Hey, we just want to be able to collect this here data. It's not that important. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. We're not forcing you on these things, and we're going to make it illegal for anybody else to possess this but us, so that you don't have to worry about these things, and it's just going to be us. You don't have to worry about your privacy. These are all your concerns, your questions, and your concerns about the fears of this here type of system coming up over you, man. But like I said, go look at the Chinese credit social system and ask them how they like it over there, man. And ask them when it was being pitched to them. They didn't really have the choice, but ask them when it was being pitched unto them if it sounded as good as it really is, as they see it being played out. But again, we know according to prophecies, all right, that, well, let's just read it. Habakkuk 2 and 3. This is all going to come to pass, man. All right. Well, let's start at the top. Habakkuk 2 and 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. All right. And so, hey, we've been, prophesying unto you and breaking these here things down to you about the technology, the usage, giving you multiple examples. All right. So you can see how these things are working in play, just like in this here article about the Russian system. All right. Well, we can show you how it works it's in play and how it works over in or in China with the Chinese credit social system. All right. And we can give you examples. Oh, they can't pull that off over here in America. Well, I gave you an example about how they've already done that over here in America, like with just the email addresses. That's something as simple as that, an email address. All right. Think about how many things you wouldn't be able to do here in America without a damn email address. And it's not even that they force you to do these things, but think about the process of getting a job, applying for a job on an application, setting up banking, information, to get not email, but to get a banking account set up and everything else like that, man. All right, to get, a driver's license and all these different things like that, man. All right, hell, a lot of these, just look at a mailing address, man. You think you can get you a goddamn driver's license without no permanent address? You need a permanent address some kind of way. Hey, you got to have an address. But it's not. There's no law saying that you have to have a house here in America. We're gonna force you to have a house here in America and force you to be a resident somewhere here in America. You know what I'm saying? For you to be an American. No, man, you don't have to. You can legally be homeless out here, but hey, you want a driver's license, you're gonna have to have an address. You can't just be like, well, I'm homeless. You know what I'm saying? I just live in my car, so I don't have it. You better find somebody address, right? So this is how it's going to be. Verse 3 says, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and it will not tarry. And this is what we're starting to see right now. All this argument over what the MOTB is, all this argument and talk over who has 100% truth and everything else like that. All these things are now being made manifest, man. The books were laid open, as the scripture said, the books were laid open, and this is all being made manifest, man. You're able to see clearly now. All right, the whole end. The beginning to the end is being all made manifest, man. It's all being made clear unto you. All right. And this is what we've been telling you the whole time. This is Revelation 13. All right. What this here prophecy was speaking about. Revelation 13 and 16, just getting to the point. It says, and this sounds contrary to what we just read in that article. It says, and he calls it all. All right. Well, let's read that in NLT. It says, and he required everyone. All right. So when it says he caused it all, he required everyone. Oh, it's not mandatory. You don't have to do all this. You don't have to do all that. Don't listen to these prophets of doom. It's not mandatory. All right. Hey, well, it ain't mandatory for you to have no goddamn address here in America. But like I said, go try to get a driver's license without no address, man. All right. Go try to set up a bank account without no address here in America, man. All right. Go try to go get a damn job without no address here in America, man. And see what happens. And they're like, bro, you need you need an address somewhere. We don't give a damn if it's a real address or a fake address. You need an address. You can't just leave these fields. You go fill out some shit on the internet, and you can't leave these fields blank. You have to have a last name. You know what I'm saying? But like, ain't no law saying you have to have a first and a last name in here in America. But hey, you try that if you want, they're gonna look at you crazy, man. All right. It says he caused it, or he required everyone. All right, he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Let me see. It says the same thing, but going back into this, it says no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark. All right. So, and when you go in the Chinese social credit system, all right, everybody's required to have that system, but they also have, I believe it's called WeChat. They have a certain app that they have right now. This here app does everything from, ordering cabs, paying bills. All right. Everything that they need to be able to maneuver is based off of this here one app, which is tied to your social credit system. All right. So if you don't have that, you ain't getting nothing, man. You can't order no food. You can't order a cab somewhere. You can't go anywhere. Can't register in school. Can't get housing. Can't get a job. Can't get a paycheck without this here portal, man. All right. So, and we see how things are already going. Like I said, with the email address or a home address, man. All right. You ain't really able to move out here without these things out here, man. Imagine if you was just out here, you just had a first name and no last name, no legal last name, man. All right, man. Think about how hard it would be for you to be able to move around legally here in America. You're trying to go sign for a car loan, trying to sign for a mortgage here in America, trying to sign to go get a bank account out here in America, trying to just go sign to go get a job out here with just a first name, no last name, or a last name and no first name, or no mailing address, man. All right, none of these things are legally. By law here in America, you need these things. No, man. This is how they're gonna. This is what the system is. Hey, if you want to participate, this is what it's going to be. You can always go out here and starve to death. I mean, that's on you. Why would you want to go and do this to yourself, man? Then they're going to sit there and what they call shame you. Only bums, don't work and don't do this, and they'll do all these different things, man. Only these folks. So, hey, this is what it's going to be like. And then on top of that, let's read this. Let's go to 3 and 10. Revelation 3 and 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Now, when we go into this great temptation, all right, the great time of testing, as NLT says. But when you look at other scriptures about like Jacob's trouble, there's going to be a time like never before since there was a nation on earth, even to the same time. Why do I hear men crying like women, wailing like women with their hands on their loins, man? All right, and then the neighbors fighting one another for the lack of bread. All right, so think about this economic collapse that's coming. All right, the times that we're coming into, people starving out here, people looking for food, people looking for shelter. All right, we just had this cold ass blizzard here over the Christmas holiday type scenario, man. So just imagine you just trying to get inside a warm, sheltered building, but hey, we need to be able to scan you to come in. All right, we need to be able to see who you are. Make sure you ain't got no illnesses or nothing. We need a real-time biometrics to let us know because, hey, problem, reaction, solution. We need to know if you got any of these new pestilence or illnesses in real time. And we also need to know who you are to be able to track and trace you because we got crime running rampant out here. We can't afford the police, so we can just use this here system to track and trace everybody and shut you down whenever we need. And plus, the economy is collapsing, so we got to introduce this new CBDC all in one. All right, problem, reaction, solution. We got the solution to all these here issues with this here one chip that they're going to put inside of you, man. And it's going to be that great temptation that's coming upon the whole earth. Hey, you want to sit here and participate in this here system? You want to participate in this here life? You want to participate in these here things that we're doing? Hey, you got to go ahead and get chipped up out here, man. All right, just like how not to say that we live in a good life, but comparably to some people who want to so-called live off grid out here, man. Hey, man, look, man, how much stuff. Look at how much stuff we do from our damn cell phones, man. People order Ubers, people order food, Uber Eats and stuff like that. People order plane tickets and things like that. Some people don't even, like myself, don't even really have a damn computer because I can do everything I can do on a computer on my damn phone, right then and there from wherever I'm at. I don't have to go home. So, hey, a lot of people need to, use their phone for a lot of different things. And just think about, even hell, banking, right? All my banking stuff is very rare that I actually go to a physical bank anymore, man. And then when I do go to the bank, I go to the outside the ATM machine. So I don't actually have to ever go into a bank, man. All right, because of the technology that I have and everything from my phone. But just imagine somebody want to live so-called quote unquote off grid. You walking around with all this here money and under the mattress inside the house and everything else like that, and all these different things. And we got to start spending money and everything. You try to make big purchases. People gonna look at you all crazy if you over here trying to buy a damn, let's just say something small like a $10,000 car and straight up cash, man. Let alone you trying to go buy a house. In fact, I don't even think they'll let you buy a house in cash, like physical cash. Like people buy houses in cash, but it's through digital transfers of the bank and things like that. I have seen that, but what I'm saying is physical cash. They'll look at you like you crazy. You tried buying a house in physical cash, man. But hey, this is the system that we're coming up upon, man. This is the times that we're coming into, man. That great temptation. But I'm gonna go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, and elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Bahashim Rakakwadash. Slack, give me 1 second. All right, that's fine. Yep, double honors to the apostle and elders, the great millstone, and taught us the truth never will. And salutation, much love for you. I can push in truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed, edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.